Welcome back, guys. It's almost Halloween, which is my favorite time of the year. As you guys can see, today I created this Halloween makeup look for you. I teamed up with Deck of Scarlet to create a Game of Thrones inspired look, and this is what I came up with. It's kind of a mishmash between Daenerys and Viserion. Of course, Viserion is now an ice dragon. He's an undead ice dragon, and it's going to be a huge part of the upcoming season, so I thought, why not do something inspired by that? And I absolutely love how this entire look turned out. It's sexy, but it's like creepy, and it has the SFX in it as well, and it has the cut crease and glitter and things like that. And I just think that it is so fun. So Deck of Scarlet is a makeup subscription service, and it's $29.95 every 2 months. So every other month you get an entire makeup palette that you can create a ton of versatile looks from. Each palette comes with highlighter, blush, eyeshadows, and lip products, and they are all created in collaboration with different YouTubers. So for example, the one that I'm using today was in collaboration with Nakia Joy. They also ship free to the USA and have shipping options to Canada and the UK. I really like that with this program you can cancel at any time, and you can also skip the month if you don't happen to like the colors. And to top it off, all of their products are 100% cruelty and paraben free. I think that's just about everything, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm starting off this look with my eyebrows already filled in to save a little bit of time. Everybody does them a little bit differently. I do have my eyes primed with a bit of concealer to get started, and we're gonna go right in with the eyeshadow. I'm starting off with one of the Deck of Scarlet single eyeshadows. This one's called Soft Filter, and it's just a basic matte color to go all over the lids and help everything else blend out. The first shade I'm taking to start building up the crease is going to be this gray matte shade called Space. So right now I'm just focusing on concentrating that color and getting it nice and saturated here in the crease. And then I'm taking a clean fluffy brush and just going over the edges to kind of buff them out a little bit. I will be adding another color out there, but for now I just want to kind of soften up those edges. So I'm pretty happy with the fade I've got going here. I want to deepen up that crease just a little bit more and add some more depth, so I'm going to take this navy blue shade called Gravity on my Morphe M514, which is a slightly smaller, fluffy blending brush. I always go through this phase in the fall season where I'm obsessed with watching like scary shows and horror films and stuff like that, so I've been watching so many things on Netflix, and it's been so fun. I'm trying to think of, right now I'm actually watching this show called Van Helsing that I really like. There's a show that I watched last year that I absolutely loved and I totally would watch again, but I think you guys should check out if you haven't seen it already, and that is Penny Dreadful. That show is amazing, and the ending is immaculate, and they ended it right where they should. They didn't drag it out anywhere, and it was just perfect. I love that show so much, so I think that you guys would really like that if you're into that kind of thing. I feel like I'm gonna want a little bit more depth in that outer corner and slightly in the outer crease, so I'm just grabbing the Morphe Jaclyn Hill palette because I need a black shade and I don't have one here, so I'm just taking that black shade in the corner and I'm gonna start packing that on the outer corner and outer crease area. So over the past week or so, Mike has gotten like kind of obsessed with the Dyatlov Pass incident mystery, and this is a true story, and I had actually seen the like movie that they based that story off of. It's called Devil's Pass, and so like when he was telling me about it, I was like, I think I saw a movie about this, and it's actually a true story that happened in Soviet Russia in the 1950s, I believe, and 9 hikers went out to the Ural Mountains and they all died under mysterious circumstances, and there's so many different theories as to how or why they died, or what exactly made them leave their tent in the snow, and most of them died of hypothermia, while other ones died of mysterious and unexplainable injuries. And so there are theories of aliens, theories of Yeti, theories of the KGB, and just nobody knows what happened. And I don't know if anyone will ever know what happened, but it's just such an interesting and crazy story that I listened to this podcast that Mike had sent me It's a 2-part podcast. It's like 2.5 hours that talks all about it, and it's just really creepy and really interesting and just like crazy to think that that actually happened. And I just thought that if you guys haven't heard of it, you guys might be interested to listen to it too and tell me what your theories are of what happened in the comments below. I'm thinking I want to use my Pure Cosmetics Pure Glitters, Pro Glitters, is that what they're called, in Midnight Diamond. So what I like to do when applying these is apply them very, very thinly, because otherwise they'll kind of cake up and they can like flake and fall on your face and stuff like that. So I like to apply this very, very thinly, and I just use the applicator that it comes with and just like make sure I really, really spread it out over the lids. Part of me most likely feels like the only way to really explain it has to be aliens, which is crazy, obviously. But at the site, there were no signs of tracks in or out outside of their tracks. And the injuries that the 3 people who were killed, the injuries that they sustained were like crushing injuries, but the outside of their bodies didn't show any sort of soft tissue damage. So you have to think, what could possibly do that to a person? Like crush their skull or crush their chest, but not show any bruising or any soft tissue damage. And so you automatically go to either the government has some crazy weapons that we've never heard of before, or some technology that we don't have, which would come from something alien. And obviously aliens or something like that would be so compelling for them to cut out of their tent and run in fear. But then I was also thinking, and this wasn't even brought up at all, and I was thinking like possibly if we're gonna be in the realm of aliens and yetis and things like that, like what if it was a kind of paranormal force that scared them to that point or did something to them. But honestly, I just don't know. It's so baffling. Mike and I were sitting here talking about how the more you hear about the story and the more evidence there is and the more theories that are thrown out there, the less you ultimately know at the end. You're like, I still just have no idea what the hell happened. And it's really frustrating, but still just so interesting at the same time. The podcast we listened to is from people called Astonishing Legends, and they just tell a bunch of different stories and mysteries and things like that. I haven't listened to any of the other ones yet, but I'm really excited to. So if you guys are into stuff like that and need something to listen to when you're on your way to work, or you're working, or you're getting ready, or doing your makeup or whatever, like I highly suggest downloading. I think Mike listens to it on Spotify, and it's free, and yeah, I just think it's super fun, and it's a cool way to like kind of change up your everyday routine and learn something new. So I'm going to take the deck of Scarlet Long Lasting Liquid Liner in Galaxy. I believe this one is kind of gray also. Oh, it is gray. And of course, I couldn't think of anything more fitting to use today for this dragon look than the New Bonsum Dragonly lashes. So I have a brand new pair right here. They're crazy, crazy dramatic, and I feel like they're gonna be perfect for this look. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop those on quickly. While those are getting tacky, I wanna go ahead and just get started on the face. My skin has been a little bit dry lately, so I'm gonna start off by priming with the Smashbox Primerize. This is one of my very favorite primers of all time, especially for the winter time when my skin gets really dry and it needs just like some hydration to start off. I'm so ready to get some foundation on my face right now. So the foundation I'm going to be using today, I feel like I need to mix a little bit because, oh, maybe not. I feel like it still might be slightly too light, but this foundation I actually hated when I first got it, and I hadn't used it in so long, and I just kind of rediscovered it and fell in love with it, and that's the Makeup Forever Ultra HD Foundation Stick. I use the shade VD01A. And then I'm also going to mix in, to darken it up a little bit, some of my NARS Natural Radiant Longwear Foundation in the shade Barcelona. I love this foundation because it's so full coverage and it looks so flawless once you get it all blended out. It makes your skin just look amazing, and it lasts all day. And then for my actual concealer, I'm mixing 2 of these shades from the Laura Mercier Ultra Longwear Concealer. I'm using the shade 2N and 2W. Really quickly setting the under eyes with my Laura Mercier Secret Brightening Powder. And I have a foundation I bought that is entirely too dark and would never work as actual foundation, so it works perfectly as a bronzer / contour, and that is the NARS All Day Luminous Weightless Foundation in the shade Syracuse, which is medium dark 1. So I like to take this brush called the Precision Foundation Luxie 660, and I like to apply it that way and kind of buff it into my cheekbones. And then take my blender and soften and blend the edges. And I'm also going to take a smaller brush and use that to contour my nose. And now I'm going to softly set everything using the DERMABLEND Illuminating Banana Powder. I love this so much. This is honestly my new holy grail setting powder, baking powder, whatever you want to call it, highlighting powder. I love it even more than the Laura Mercier. And just quickly going over my entire face, and then I'm going to go back in and bake the areas that I need to. And then I also like to use this to contour my nose even further, so I grab a tighter brush. This is a Sigma Precision Tapered P86 brush, and I'll dip into that powder and just create sharper lines down the sides of my nose. And then we're going to start bringing that a little bit lower and smoking it out using this brush right here, the Morphe M411 and the gray space shade. Now that's not quite as dark as I want it, so I think I'm going to go in with another one of their single eyeshadows. This is one of the foiled eyeshadows, and I believe this shade is called Kristen. I don't remember. And I actually really like the shimmer in this and applying it to the lower lashes because it's just making it look more like dragon skin, more like reflective or wet or however you'd like to call it, but it's just going to give more of a dimensional appearance. So I think I'm going to skip blush, but I do want to apply some highlight, so I'm taking that shade called Stardust from the palette. So I'm applying a lot of highlighter because I want my skin to look slightly icy. Okay, and then for lips, I'm going to start off with this deck of Scarlet lip color. This one is the One Stroke Graphic Lip Crayon in the shade Mia, which is like a soft, more cool toned taupe color. And to give the lips a little bit more dimension, I am going to shade them a bit with some of these eyeshadows. So I'm going to use the shade Space and Gravity to kind of create a little bit more dimension. So as far as the makeup goes, that's it. Now it's time to start adding our prosthetics and start painting. So I took some Model Magic and created a whole bunch of little horns and scale pieces. And so I'm just gonna go ahead and start applying those to my face with a little bit of lash glue. And I'm also not really sure what I will and won't need. So that's why I made a ton of stuff, but I'm feeling like I may only use all the little horns that I made, and I might not even touch any of these scales at all. Okay, so now I'm just going to start painting the upper part of my head and the horns, and I'm just going to use just different combinations of blue, black, white. So I'm using my Paradise Paints in the shade Blue Lagoon, black, white, and these are all just activated with water. So I'm going to start creating a mixture of the blue and black to get a nice base color. So basically just dry brushed that color on, and I'm just going to keep doing the dry brushing techniques to create texture and more dimension. I think I'm going to darken up the edges with a bit of black and kind of blend that in, and then make it lighter towards the tips for a really like icy effect. So now I'm just using kind of like streaking motions. I'm holding the brush to the side and blending that white color down into the darker colors so that it blends better and it gives all of that really, really nice texture. Okay friends, that's it for my Viserion inspired Game of Thrones Halloween makeup tutorial. I hope that you guys enjoyed it and learned something new today. I hope that you guys are so pumped for Halloween. If you haven't already, don't forget to keep up with me over on Instagram, and I will see you guys again very soon. Bye!